Good night! Dutchy here for vlog 51 and it's Q&A Friday! Yes it is, because I got enough questions and I'm really pleased about that. I'm sorry for the fumbling. I've got it noted down here so I won't forget any of your questions. So let's start with the first one, and that is, how did I meet my husband? Well, I've actually known him for quite a long time, since we met when we were in, I guess you call it, middle school. He was about 10 years old and I was 11, and we had a combined class of 2 grades, and halfway through the year he came to my class, and half a year later I went on to go to high school. So we didn't really interact much, especially since I was really shy and he is very outgoing. Wouldn't show on the videos, I think, but that is how it is. And then in high school, when I finally flunked my last year because I didn't do too much schoolwork, I'd rather go and do track and field and work out in the gym than doing my schoolwork, and had done that for quite a few years. So, well, anyway, then we got into the same class again. I was dating someone at the time, so it didn't work out at that moment, but we became close friends, and then he moved away to the north of the Netherlands for a year, and shortly after he came back I broke up with my ex-boyfriend, and then we got together. So, and we've been together for a very, very, very long time by now, which is a great thing, of course. So that's in short the story of how we met and how we got to be together. And the other question is, where do I see myself in 5 years? Well, it depends on how you mean the question, but I really actually hope to be living abroad, because I think that it would be such a great experience. And as you probably have been able to tell, the abroad I would like to live most is the USA. But other than that, I think anywhere is good, at least anywhere in the Western world. I wouldn't really like to be living in an Arab country where, you know, it's especially as a woman, I wouldn't really like that. So that's what I'd really like. I'd like to be in business for myself, making my own hours, so somewhat being a stay-at-home mom, but still doing some things for, like, well, not necessarily providing for myself, but doing things I love. I like being creative in many ways, and well, I like too many things, but something like that. That's how I see myself, or would like to see myself in 5 years. How many languages do I speak? Well, Dutch, obviously, English, and quite some German, a bit of French, and a teeny tiny bit, but I wouldn't actually, I think I cannot even mention it, but a tiny bit of Spanish. So that's it. Although I know a lot of people think that's really a lot. But Dutch and English are the best ones. German is pretty, I mean, speaking German is okay. Writing it is quite a different story. And French is, well, somewhat. The basic things I'll be able to do in French, and I'll be able to understand as long as they don't speak too fast, which they have a tendency to do in France. So, yeah, that's it. What do you admire most in each of your babies? Wow, most. In Elliot, I think that he really dives into things, into knowing things, understanding things, and then explaining them to, and that's the part, I mean, that he dives into it is great, but that he tries to explain it to his sister and his brothers and to his classmates, I think that's really great. As for Amira, she is so into everything she does, and she is enthusiastic about just about anything in a good way, and I just love that way she looks at life, and anything is possible, and she has a very positive outlook on things, and yeah, I really love that. And Joachim, he is really, really funny and really, really cuddly. I get like 100 kisses when I put him to bed, and that is just, he can't let go, and I really like that. Although at some point I do want him to let go, of course, but yeah, that's what I really, really like about him. And Nathaniel, he has just such a way of making everybody smile. He is very outgoing. Yeah, he's just, he puts a smile on my face almost all day. There are moments he doesn't, but yeah, most of the time he really does. So that is great. You know, and as they grow older, you see more things and more characteristics to really love them even more for. But for now, I think those are the things that are stand out most. And you hear Joachim through the baby phone. What's your favorite season and why? Well, if you have watched very closely, you may be able to answer that question already, but it's definitely summer for me. I get cold very easily, and I love to be warm. I love the warmth, I love the sun, it makes me really happy. I really notice that after winter, it's not like I'm in a winter depression, it's not that bad, but when in the summer the sun comes out, I'm like, I've missed that so much. I'm so much happier in summertime and on sunny days that, yeah, I've always said I'm really not made for this climate. I was made to be living in a really warm climate. I think that's why I like Florida so much, because it's really warm. Sometimes a bit too humid maybe, but I can take that. So definitely summer for me, no doubt about it. I like to go ice skating. I like to mess around in the snow mess around sounds wrong. To have fun in the snow. But for me, the ideal would be like all year summer and about 2 weeks of snow and ice. So that would be like a vacation and not to be in. You know, for all the fun that the snow and ice give, I can put up with the cold. And here you cannot even be sure you have snow and ice. So it's cold, and usually it feels much colder than it is here in the Netherlands because of the wind. So it's extremely cold, and you cannot be sure you'll have any fun out of it. So that's really, I really don't like that. Have we traveled to different countries or the US, and how did we prepare for a long travel with the kids? Yeah, we have. We have been to the US. We went for the first time when Elliot was, well, no, we did go together, but for the first time when Elliot was 9 months, and we really thought, oh, how will this go, traveling with him? Elliot didn't want to be held. He preferred to play by himself on the ground, and so we trained him to sit in our lap for the weeks before we went, and we were really like, oh, is this going to be okay? And it went very well. The flight went really well, and I don't think, yeah, we brought, and we do it most of the time. We take some extra toys or books or something that they haven't had before that we bought specially, or we have held back, and so they have something new to play with, to discover, and that makes the travel a lot easier. And we've done that now with car rides. We go to Spain or to France, mostly to Spain, and that is well, it's about 16 hours. So, and then we're doing it pretty fast with hardly any stops in between. So it's a really long time. They sleep some part of the ride because we usually start driving at night. And but for the other part, we have DVD in screens in the car. So that really helps. That makes it a lot easier than when we didn't have them. And As I said, we buy some stuff for, really cheap stuff. Sometimes it's something that comes in a package where we can have all four of them have something for like $1 or something, euro in our case. And sometimes like a coloring book or a book with all kinds of games, things like that. And they aren't so expensive as well, and it really makes traveling a lot easier. And that's basically what we do. And we try to stick to the schedule they have at home. So, if it's time to sleep, we let them sleep a little later. We did that in the plane and in the car, but, we try to stick to that, and with some part of the rituals. You cannot do everything like you do it at home, and when they were babies, we stuck more to it because they didn't understand. That's basically it. Stick to the rituals, give them some extra stuff to explore, to play with, and it works really well. We've actually had no real trouble traveling with them, and travels are quite long. So, and the last question is, how's the house hunting going? Well, you saw we checked out some houses, at least the outside, in the cities in the north of the Netherlands, and because the houses are a lot cheaper, and it's even somewhat closer to hubby's work. And we're actually now looking into houses in the south of the Netherlands, and that's mostly because I've always said I really like the most south part of the Netherlands, because it's a bit, it has slight slopes, hills there, and the rest of the Netherlands is very flat, and I like it there very much. I think it's very beautiful, and I've always said if I really have to stay in the Netherlands, because that's kind of how I feel it, though that does sound bad, I think. But if I really need to stay in the Netherlands, then I would prefer to live there. Because of the hills, it already feels a bit like it's not in the Netherlands, and it just looks so much different than the rest of it. And the houses are even somewhat cheaper than where we were looking up north. Not when you would go completely up north, but hubby and I really don't like it there too much, so that's not really an option for us. And but the disadvantage is that the south is a lot further from hubby's work, so we're still really not sure if we're going to stay here and keep things as they are. As for the school of the kids, that would be great, because it's really, really, really a great school, and I don't think we'll find something like it anywhere else in the Netherlands. So, all the other things would really have to add up in order for us to stay there. And we're thinking about they're having an autumn break in 2 weeks' time, so maybe we'll take a short holiday, go to the south of the Netherlands and look at some houses there, but we're not sure yet. So, so that's for the house hunting. Maybe we're going ahead with it, and maybe we're not. We're just not sure, and there's so many things to weigh against each other that, it's not something we'll decide like in a week, and probably not even within 1 or 2 months. But it's definitely something that's kept us busy the last couple of weeks, and we're constantly looking at houses on the internet. So that were all the questions, and I hope my answers were satisfactory. And if you have any more questions, I'd love to do another Q&A shortly. I'm not saying like every Friday. Maybe in the future I will, but for now I think once every month would be a nice frequency. But we'll see. If there's a lot of questions coming, maybe I'll do it every Friday, and if you really like it. Anyway, I like doing this. As I said earlier, I really love the interaction, and I think this is very interactive. And if you have any more questions, let me know. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're not yet subscribed, and you're really getting to know us now, please do subscribe, so you won't miss any of this. And as I always say, my motto: remember to smile, because a smile brightens your day and the day of everyone around you. So smile, and I'll see you again tomorrow.